Hello everyone, my name is Itai Kohane. I'm a mental health specialist here in Los Angeles, specializing in trauma-related issues. And I'll talk to you today about COVID-19 and their relations to mental health, and specifically for seniors. So a little bit about me first. I provided services at drugs and alcohol rehabs, as well as a center for children and families and adolescents with trauma, depression, anxiety. Um, Later, I also provided services at LGBTQ plus and HIV positive clients. And currently, I have my private practice and work at a drugs and alcohol rehab. I also provided psychotherapy for seniors at assisted livings, as well as in my private practice. So, first, I'd like to recognize that it is really wonderful to have platforms for individuals 60 years old and older, such as this one. Yeah, so this time around, COVID-19, this is a really revolutionary situation we encounter for the first time in our lifetime, right? There's a lot of uncertainty. And with this uncertainty, we try to go back to the same place we were before. And we don't know, will we? We're not sure. So this situation creates high expectations to go back, which leads to disappointments, and also related to mental health issues, which I'll talk about. The risk at this time, we have three major crises. The first one is, and foremost, is death, right? The fear of dying, and actually death itself, right? Until we have a vaccine and something is a little bit more encouraging. The financial crisis is next, right? We see this already. And the third one is the mental health crisis, which I'm going to talk about, which is also influenced by the death and fear and the financial impact. But we see great numbers of people reaching out for support at this time. So if you are one of them, you're not alone. There are so many. And I hear this all the time in my weekly talks, that people think they're the only ones who are experiencing something, but they realize afterwards that so many people share similar struggles. The fear is real. People are afraid. A little bit with statistics. So from KFF, from the end of March, they show that 74% of people in the US are saying that it's going to be worse than it is now. The worst is yet to come. And this is significant. So in this time around, it sounds odd, but we need to learn how to be in the here and now and not think about what's going to happen in the future or what happened in our past, and involve hope in all of this. There are all kinds of struggles during this time, and I'm going to talk about a few of them. So first is the loss. All kinds of losses. We lose people that we love. We are afraid of losing them. We're losing control. We're not in control over anything right now. And we try to get that, but it's very difficult. The same as with movement, mobility, right? We cannot do what we want. We feel this shouldn't be this way. And we feel like a prison. But it's all in order to keep people safe, so it's kind of essential. Another huge aspect that I'm going to talk about it more and more, it's about the human interaction and the need for touch. We all need this, and we lost it. We all were raised and survived in tribes, in communities, and right now it's all virtual. So this time can be very lonely. And for people, it can have like different reasons for this loneliness, but with seniors, what I see is that the time that was spent with children and grandchildren, as well as with friends, is lost. So it can increase loneliness. And the isolation as well in assisted livings or your own home can feel kind of by yourself, like lonely. We can feel comfortable with our loneliness, with our being alone, not the loneliness. But some of us are not. Many of us are not. And most states right now, they do not even permit people to go and visit nursing homes or assisted livings for safety reasons, but still it's kind of segregated area, and there are all kinds of ways to be able to overcome this situation with video calls, for example, FaceTime, Zoom. And this situation is not something we're used to, and it requires a lot of adjustment from everyone, and a lot of frustration. And we might say, I don't want to adjust to this. I'm going to wait until this is all over, but we're missing out on a lot. And I also have personal frustration with technology. It's not easy to do all this Zoom thing, right? I get a shape of a chair here. And I also have some glitches and problems with this online thing when the internet crashes. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit more, but providing tablets, for example, for seniors and teaching them how to use it is one way of overcoming this. And other ways, people become very creative. There are some apps that are created to make things easier for people to start a video call, which allows us to connect with family and friends. So like I said, being by yourself doesn't mean that you're lonely. We need this alone time. So even if you're really in love with the person you're with, you need your own space. And being alone doesn't make you lonely. You can be with people that you love and you might feel lonely as well. So the loneliness is very, very subjective. And some people are pleased with the distance of just not having the pressure to meet and socialize. So this is kind of a mixed. So some people will relate to what I said first, and some will for the second part. What I said I will touch on a little bit more is the physical touch that we need as human beings. It's almost not humane to not have this. We survive with this touch. We need this for our creation and also for these sensations. People tell me all the time that they just didn't receive a hug or shook someone's hand for months, and they miss that. Even someone random. And someone even told me that he understands why his dog is coming to be petted all the time. So I don't compare ourselves to dogs, but we need that physical touch as well. And also by having a pet can also be very supportive because of that touch that we give to them, and also the humane part of the animals that we relate to. Besides of that touch, believe it or not, it can decrease your pain. So there are studies that show that if you're having an intrusive medical procedure and the person you love is holding your hand during this time, it will reduce your pain. It's amazing. Our human body is incredible. And there are all kinds of therapeutic approaches with touch. So this is less available, which is really unfortunate. During this time, we're exposed to media all the time. This leads to senses of fear and helplessness, right? And this helplessness is a state that we see a lot in traumatic incidents. So it's kind of related to we're kind of in a place of pre-trauma state. Some people have already some symptoms of nightmares, of avoidance of some situations, being more agitated, hypervigilant, and we might see it also in a form of depression, anxiety, or chronic pain. Our immune system is also being suppressed by stress, the body-mind connection. We need to create, in order to overcome this helplessness, this immobility, we have to be more mobile and move, right? So we need to create more mobility. We need to go on walks. We need to exercise. We need to feel like we're not captured in our place. And something that's really helpful during this time is also limiting our exposure to news, because this is something we have control over. We don't have control over so many things, but what do we have? And one of them is news. So an hour per day, even less, is enough. Don't just leave the TV on. we might see some things that are going to be similar to 9/11, where people watch in a loop the same event, and then what happened is that they just experience these trauma symptoms, because our brain, it's difficult for our brain to really differentiate between what's real and what's not. So seeing that again and again with that stress makes us helpless, and eventually can lead to traumatic symptoms. Another way to let go of the immobility and just be more mobile is some routine and some activities. Feel sense of being essential. So conversations with people, having meals, reading books, listening to music, maybe dancing a little bit, exercising, personal hygiene, taking care of yourself, self-care, and maybe even cooking or something else that you might find as interesting that you can do, or interested and you didn't have time before to do, and kind of want to fill that time or feel a sense of doing something. So during this time, we're thinking, should we reach out for support, for mental health support? So as seniors, I can understand that this can be a struggle, because we're always coming to seniors for advice and gaining some knowledge and expertise, right? And we will continue doing so no matter what. But with having that role, I can understand that it's difficult to go and ask for help, especially when it wasn't very something that people did, right? It's like it becomes more popular nowadays. And it takes a lot to say, I could use some support. And during this time, it's not by asking for support, it's not because something is wrong with you necessarily, right? It's having an investment in yourself. It's another form of doing that. Your mental well-being, in similar to physical well-being, like going to the gym, going to hair or skincare. And we need to treat ourselves. But I want to have another note here that if this is something that is really severe, if you or someone else is in a life-threatening emergency, please call 911 or go to your nearest hospital. This is serious, okay? I'm talking about some less life-crucial incidents. I can give you some of my expertise and my experience from psychotherapy during this time around. I can see that people are in much higher stress. We're affected by our surrounding. We're feeling this. More depression, more suicidal thoughts. And we will see, unfortunately, more incidents like that. And all these feelings that we feel are so important. And we need to be able to express them and let them be. Because love and happiness and excitement is one side of our feelings that we want to feel, but we cannot feel them without feeling the other side of frustration, anger, sadness, which are also really important. They're there for a reason. So allow them to be there, because otherwise it can manifest in different ways. So something else that we see is because of the time that we have, we're getting to sit with things that we suppressed for a long time, and all of a sudden those problems pop up, and we cannot distract ourselves. And now it's a little bit limiting, right? We're doing Zoom sessions. You're watching a video right now. People are getting more adapted to the Zoom. Even both therapists and clients that were thinking that this is not the way to go are using this and adjusting. There are disadvantages that I cannot really feel what's going on and see you and get that energy and see all of you in the body language. But some people feel more comfortable. You can just turn around, right? You can decide I had enough from the video and I can put the video off. I can just I don't have to show my lower part of my body, right? I can have this distance and feel a little bit more comfortable sharing, because I don't have a physical person in front of me. It's the screen and there's a person there, but some people feel more comfortable opening up like this. So, few general points here. This is a new situation for everyone as human beings, as humankind. We're trying to cope with it better every day. Okay? Every day it might look a little bit differently, and we need to adjust and be in the here and now and be present. Something we forget during this time, we're thinking, what didn't we do right? But what did you do right? We're really harsh on ourselves. We can be empathic towards other people, but it's very difficult for us to be empathic towards ourselves. Be empathic towards yourself. What did you do right? What's going well? Right? Pat yourself on the back for doing something good. This is really important. You're doing the best that you can. Another really important part that I talked about was we need a routine, right? We need to keep a schedule to have a purpose for each day. We cannot start forgetting which day this is, what week are we on, and we need to wake up in the morning and know what's going to happen next, and possibly have something meaningful going for us. Something that we're looking forward to. A phone call, a meal. We need to learn how to spend time with each other by using the video calls. It's not just to check in and see how you're doing. This is our way to socialize. We need to use this platform in order to just have meals together, watching a series, watching a movie, listening to music, share some experiences, showing around what's going on. Just putting the video on and just spend time together. We need this. Happy hour, coffee. It's not just about checking in. This is our social time. And we need to socialize and connect in any way that we can. Please allow yourself to express and feel your emotions. They're there for a reason. They will come back in other ways if you keep suppressing them. Don't hold them in. There are ways to get some support, and reach out for support, or ask family members or friends if they can recommend you of ways of how to get that. So there are all kinds of things that are available to you. So I really want to thank you for listening. Again, my name is Itai Kohane. I'm usually a much better listener than this. I'm usually on the other side. But this is a one-sided thing, and I hope this video was helpful to you. You can find some more information about me on my Facebook page, Dr. Itai Kohane, and I'm looking forward to supporting you and listen to you. So, yeah, thank you.